March, and Michigan goes undefeated on the road in the Big Ten, holding on, hanging in there, and beating Iowa at Carver Hawkeye. How about it, everybody? Welcome in to the Michigan basketball postgame live show as we get ready to get things underway here as Michigan wins this one 71-68 after being tied at the half. A game Hawkeye squad, and a lot to go through when you look at this particular game. 28-2 and 18-1 now in the conference, and this is a game you're used to watching Michigan. You're probably like, oh, they're going to blow it. Oh, this call, that call, everything. This is how games usually play out. Close ones down at the end. Michigan really hasn't had a lot of these. And sometimes you say, well, a loss is good for a team late and can refocus them on everything else. Not now. I think for this game here, Michigan, the way it went down, where they're playing possession by possession, and then they win a close one where you have to execute to make all these plays, and they didn't make them all, but they made a bunch, and a team effort, really. A lot of different guys pitching in when you think about Roddy Gayle making some swat the shot, coming up with a steal and bouncing off somebody's like, those are huge plays. Usually when you're blocking a shot, you're not getting it back. That happened. And, Michigan's front line was dominant. So we'll take you through this one. So many things to talk about. We love to get your feedback on all of it. My biggest takeaway, is that Michigan wins a one-possession game, and it's good for them with it being March, with the calendar turning, and now just one game to go before they go to Chicago. This the great value in winning this game for Dusty May's Wolverines. And if the Hawkeyes drain that, you call it a desperation three at the end, you watch enough games and you probably were saying foul. The Yaks fouled a little bit earlier, and you're going to say, okay, maybe that was a little bit too early. But the last one, you almost always say foul, but they didn't, and they win. So, nobody's going to be upset about that when it comes down to it. So as I look at this one and we go through it, Michigan was a big 8.5-point favorite. That was too many. And it was a dogfight. You thought it might have been a dogfight, and it was a dogfight as U of M looked to go undefeated on the road in the Big Ten. In the second half, there was something that we're going to see more of as the games unfold in March, and that's going to be Yaxel Lendenborg taking over, and they put the ball in his hands a lot in the second half. You could see that. They were running plays for him. And then, as we have watched all year long, Michigan's front line just leans on you and just keeps coming at you. And at one point, the announcer said, how do you stop that? And he could have been talking about Yaks. He was actually talking about Morris Johnson Jr., or he might have been talking about Mara. All of those guys making huge plays down the end. And then it looked like this was going to be a typical Michigan win this year, how they've won games that they just wore the opponent out. They got up by double digits for the first time with 6 left, and that looked like it was going to be it. But, Iowa came back. They got within 3 with 4 to go. They made it a 2-point game with 2 left, and then they tied it up with under 2 minutes to play. And then you got to the heroics of this game, and I'll go to 2 plays. This is just as it unfolded. I wrote down the play-by-play. You'll remember Mara banking it in with 1:22 left to give Michigan a 2-point lead. Now, could he have been called for a travel? Yeah, he wasn't. And he threw it up. The bank's open in Iowa City. I mean, look, he's Carver Hawkeye. No, he didn't mean to do that. But, you take it, and there you go, banking it in with 1:22 to go. But the Hawkeyes, they, right as the clock expires, they get a layup, so there's 52 seconds to go. And then Michigan out of a timeout, Dusty Mara calls a lob and great pass by Elliot Cadeau. Mara loses his balance a little bit, but he is able to convert a lob off the glass falling down. That's a high degree of difficulty. 43.4 to go. Michigan gets that one, and they're up 2. And then you have Gayle's heroics. He swats that Hawkeye defender, the shot off the glass. Michigan is able to get the rebound after that, and 23 seconds to go, they're up a bucket. But Morez Johnson is called for a travel. So then you have Iowa going right back at it, and Banks loses it off his leg, out of bounds, thanks to Gayle, who reached in there, got ball, slapped it off his knee, and went out of bounds. So back-to-back plays by Roddy Gayle with under 25 seconds to go in this game. Huge props for Gayle, who's going to be leaned on a lot, and a lot of people have, of course, he's going to be talked about. I mean, this is a team that's trying to win a championship, and they just lost L.J. Kaysen. So, yeah, you're going to be talking about everything in the world, and part of that is going to be Roddy Gayle Jr. Well, he came up big time late in this game here. Nice job. That'll be a huge boost of confidence, and I think if you watch Roddy Gayle Jr., give him a little confidence and see where that could take you. It might be able to take you all the way to Indianapolis. And then, you had under 10 seconds to go. Yax was fouled. He split a pair. Iowa was fouled. They make them both. And then Yax, the important one, with 4 seconds to go, he made both free throws with 4 seconds. And then Michigan declining not to foul there. Iowa misses what you'd call, it wasn't a great look, desperation 3, but they got desperation, and it was a long ways away, but a halfway decent look. And it says 72-68, 71-68 was the final for Michigan. Woo! Yeah, you talk about this one. These are the kind of games that you go play by play. These kind of games I like. I mean, yeah, you take the 10, 20, 30, 40-point blowouts that they've had, but it's March, and there's going to be more games like this on their way to Indianapolis than they were like in Vegas. I think, I don't know, a couple of years ago, UConn went into the tournament and just dismantled everybody. Maybe that's what Michigan will do, but probably they'll at least run into a game or two that is going to come down like this. And this will be nice to have in their back pocket when those things happen. So many times this year, you don't say normally much about the first half because you get so many things to talk about and sink your teeth into in the second half. But Michigan's been a first half team because they've won a lot of their games, and it's been over by halftime. This one here, Hawkeyes with lots of energy on senior night. U of M was turning it over a lot. Sturts was cold, but then he dialed in some threes late in the first half. So this game was tied at 30. And when it looked like Michigan was going to pull away with 6 left, 6 minutes to go, Iowa came back. And here's the long and short of it. Michigan is now 28-2, 18-1 in the Big Ten, and the first team since IU, the undefeated Hoosiers, Bobby Knight's team, in 1976 to win all the road games in the conference. So big props. You think about going to East Lansing, going to West Lafayette, winning these games, and you say, Iowa can be a tricky game. All these ones, when you go on the road, they're going to be tricky. They are. And so that's a huge thing, a huge feather in your cap. If as you sit here in real time, I know that not a lot of that matters if you fall short in March, but as you are going along and you're picking these things up, it's very nice. That's a hell of a season. It's a hell of a regular season, and it would be a real nice cherry on top to beat the Spartans, who won in a close one against Rutgers today. Woo! How about it? Let's take some of the feedback. It's the Michigan basketball postgame live show. This show this year, it's not, you follow the team. This team's been fire. So, of course, this show has been fire. You might say that this is a Cy homer, but he's a Michigan guy. He liked Cadeau's game, drawing those fouls. That's what helped win this game. Cadeau was nice in this game. He knows he doesn't have his insurance policy in LJ Kaysen, and he had 11 points and 9 feeds. Nice job by Elliot Cadeau. Yeah, give us a like for sure. And, yep, we talked about those Gayle plays. Those were huge. Bimba is talking about Nimari Burnett should not start and should barely play. Good win, though. Well, I'll let Dusty know what you think about that. I understand what you're saying. You haven't seen much from Nimari, but I'll give it to you like this, Bimba. Sometimes you don't fix what's not broke. You go with what got you there. And Nimari, are you going to need him? Because Nimari Burnett is a 3-point specialist. And so you want, heading into their final game, when they've only lost 2 games all year long, they're the number 3 team in the country. You want to take the guy who started every game and put up a 31 spot earlier this year. You want to take him and put him on the bench. And you know what that's going to do to his confidence? You might as well just say, okay, goodbye, Nimari, because you're not going to see him too much. Do you get and put McKinney in there pretty quick if Nimari is not finding his shot? Absolutely. But I would not change things right now with how things are going for Michigan. I would say absolutely not. I don't think Dusty's going to do it. And the reasons he's not going to do it is because what I just stated, despite what you're saying, which I think everybody understands, but it's not emotional. You're looking at it saying, Nimari's not providing anything. Now, I hear people say, it doesn't matter who starts, it's who finishes. There's some truth to that, but this is a confidence thing with when you're talking about shooters. And you want to do everything you can to give them confidence in March, heading into the Big Ten tournament, heading into the season finale with Michigan State, heading into the NCAA tournament. You don't want to take that confidence away. So I appreciate it, but I'm going to say no. Under par 68 says that tells you how important Kaysen was. Well, are we going to say, every game that is close from here on out, or if Michigan drops a game here, they missed LJ, whatever else. Look, I like LJ as much as anyone else. And Michigan would not have 28 wins this year, or they would not have won all of their Big Ten games, because they would not have won that game at Northwestern if it wasn't for LJ Kaysen. And LJ Kaysen is one of the best players in the country at being able to come off the bench and take a player and drive to the rack and score on him. He's tremendous at that. And he's a very efficient 3-point shooter. Michigan's best 3-point shooter statistically last month. So, yeah, it's a big loss. I don't minimize it, but I'm also not every game going to be sitting here and, talking about, oh, whoa, boy, they really missed him. I don't know. Did they miss him? Michigan would have won this game by double figures of LJ. I don't know. I'm not going to play that game too much, but, you play it. I like the MJJ stare down that Dusty's doing there under par 68. That's good. 18 turnovers is criminal. Lock them up. Unacceptable. Well, you remember, 15 seems like a lot. And, Michigan is towards the bottom in the Big Ten, and it does freak people out. I get it. It was sloppy in the first half. I'm not excusing him. because the one time Mara didn't step on the baseline or they called him. I don't know. These refs, the guy standing right there. I get it. If he clearly sees his foot step on the baseline, call it. But he calls it, and then we get a great view, as good of a view that the ref had, who was standing right there, and it was clearly that he didn't step out. So, you get on the bad side already of the fans when you're watching that. I know Hawkeye fans are beside themselves with the whistle tonight and everything else, but I'll say it. Maybe I'll have to say it every show. I've said it a few shows. Michigan plays at a fast clip, the fastest pace through 100 possessions in all of the Big Ten. They're top 5 out of the Power 4 schools in terms of the pace that they play at. So they're getting 13, 14, 15 more possessions than other teams. Well, yeah. And so maybe when you're playing at that breakneck speed, you're going to cough it up a little bit more. And so it used to be the number was 12, or you'd say you want to keep it in single digits because of the pace they play at. They're going to turn it over more. And you can freak out about it. You can be like an old school, you can be rip, not rip star. Or you can say, hey, they're a hell of a team, and yeah, they'd like to take care of the ball a little bit better and not be so careless, but they are going to turn it over more than you would expect. But when you look a little bit closer, it's like Gayle, now that these announcers talk to the coaches, and Dusty is coaching up all those announcers, because when they talk about Gayle, he just, the stuff you don't see in the box score. Oh, Roddy draws a lot of fouls. Oh, Roddy plays a lot of defense. Oh, Roddy does this. Roddy does that. And everybody that's watching him in real time is like, no, Roddy, we don't like Roddy. He's not playing well. So you heard Settles talking about that tonight. But Roddy came up huge in this game here. I was over on the live feed on the Maize and Blue Review early in this game, and everybody was bitching about Gayle and the calls and everything, which is understandable. That's what you do when you're watching the game in real time. But, Roddy, the one Euro step that he made, Settles was like, whoa, you don't see that every day in the Big Ten. And if Roddy just drives to the lane, and, you can't tell him, hey, don't pass or don't shoot threes, just drive and try to dunk it or whatever else. But I think you just keep working with his a confidence thing. Just keep building him up. Same thing with Namari. That's it. They seem tired. They didn't seem tired to me. They seem like Iowa had more energy, and Michigan didn't match that. And when you do that, and you're kind of just sashing in through there, and you make you're careless. So I don't agree with that. They seem tired, but that's your thoughts. That's why we're here. I like to hear what you have to say. Chase called it sloppy. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. You're going to get a lot of games like this. So if it won't fly in the tournament, yes, it will. You're going to get games like this in the tournament. If you're expecting Michigan to go out there and smash everybody like it's the Vegas 2.0, I think you better buckle up. You're going to be sweating bullets. 18 turnovers, I would not call it pathetic. I'd say it's a couple too many. But look at you want to call them pathetic? You're going to call a team 28-2, 18-1 that won a game on the road and didn't lose a Big Ten all game long and start talking about careless, pathetic, and this stuff's not going to fly? I mean, I know old habits die hard. Yep, there you go. I'll take a few more. They just play down to their competition too much. No, they don't. I disagree with that part too. I guess I'm just going to disagree with people tonight. You know what happens when you go on the road and you're playing another team and they're trying to solidify their position to get into the NCAA tournament, and it's March, That's what, it's March. Play down to their competition. When you play on the road in the conference, you've watched it. I think all of these are all cliches. Everybody's using cliches tonight. Under Par says, how can this team play like that? Like the analyst said, this squad is totally different team now. Yeah, Jess Settles, he's missed the boat. That was one of the things. Look, they're a different team. They're not a totally different team. Cy Homer thought the Peacock announcers were so obviously anti-Michigan, as were the halftime commentators, shaking my head. Yeah, I didn't see the guys at the halftime. Jess Settles is a former Hawkeye. But I detected no anti-Michigan slant in anything that they said. But look, I mean, I'm not – every time somebody says something that is complimentary to Iowa, I don't say, oh, my God, oh, these guys are totally against Michigan. You guys, you know what? You guys, you watch too many you watch and listen to too many homers that just do nothing but serve you up straight, maize and blue clouded glasses. And then when you see somebody give an objective opinion or say, hey, that was a nice drive by Iowa. Oh my God, these guys hate Michigan. No, they don't. Come on. Roddy Gayle saved the game. I don't know if I'm going to be able to handle. I can handle it. Just take a step back. I don't know why I'm screaming so much. Let's back it down. Let's back it down. Everybody's going for my, my buttons pushed. What was the refs suck? The announcers, Michigan blows. How did they, too many turnovers? Oh my God, I can't believe they, somehow they escaped with a win. This team is 28-2. I don't know. And you enjoy it any way you want. Let's look at let's look at the box score. Let's see if we're able to figure anything out by looking at the box score. Yak 16, 8-2. He didn't have any turnovers. He was great in the second half. They ran plays for him. It's going to be something you're going to see more and more against Michigan State. You're going to see it in Chicago, and you're going to see it in the tournament. Morris Johnson Jr., yeah, he had a few turnovers. He had that one at the end that was pretty big, but 16-8, 6 of 9. This is a typical MJJ game. Look at the field goal percentage, shot good at the free throw line, and you don't like the 4 turnovers, but I'm not going to kill him on that. I love that low post move. He had a few. He was part of why Michigan, of course, the front line. They lean on you, and it's so hard to do anything with him. Morrow was tremendous tonight in making the big shots when they counted. 14, 8, 3 blocks. He had a couple turnovers. The one he stepped on the line, that was a bad call. And he could have been called for another one when he banked that one in, but he wasn't. Cadeau had 4 turnovers. He has some careless turnovers. I'd like to see him tighten it up a little bit. 11-9, 11 points, 9 assists, 9 of 11 from the charity stripe. Pretty good game. There's Namari. You don't have you don't have Gayle to bitch about tonight, so let's go to Namari. There you go. I think that's what's going on. You always need something. What about, Dusty didn't do anything wrong. So Namari's the one. Namari's the one that I'm not going to be able to get the, let's see. Oh, maybe I can now. Let's get down. Nope. I guess I can't get the bench scoring. I'll just have to read it to you. Let's see. I have it here. Cheddar, goose egg. Gayle had 6 points, but he had the 2 defensive plays with under 25 seconds to play. Huge game from Roddy. McKinney, 5 points. How many minutes did he play? Check that out. 22. He played more minutes than Damari Burnett. I think we're going to see that moving forward. I know some of you want to start him. I'd just like to see a better play from Damari because they're going to need him. They're going to need his 3-point shooting. That's what I think when it comes down to it. Let's get to our player of the game. We'll get more of your feedback. And that's not what we want. We want the player of the game. There it is. The Maize and Blue review player of the game is Ade Mara. Why did I give it to Ade Mara? Well, when Michigan needed buckets late in this game, they went to Ade Mara. He banked a shot in from the left elbow, just outside the left elbow with 1:22 left. The bank is open. That was an incredible shot, gave Michigan a 2-point lead. And then when the Hawkeyes tied it up, Michigan out of a timeout threw a lob, Cadeau did, to Mara, who was able to, as he fell down, kiss it off the glass and convert with 43.4, two of the biggest plays of the game. Also, he was, I know Jess Settles was, totally anti-Michigan, but when he talked about Mara being a huge presence on the defensive side and blocking shots and also just being a presence on the front line back there, I don't know. I guess he was, people had their, Cy Homer had his ears, his fingers in his ears whenever he was talking about that. He seemed very complimentary of Mara. We might have been watching a different game, but that can happen. This one. Anti-Michigan. Oh, Mara's so awesome. Boy, he's a real game changer back there. The one time they said, what did the announcer say? How do you stop this Michigan front line? That was being anti-Michigan. Get out of here with that. Or nothing. I said I was going to be nice. Stop yelling. I guess that's not going to happen. I don't know. I don't know why. I can do it. Let's take some more feedback. BK says, just because Roddy made 2 big plays tonight, it doesn't absolve the season's performance for him. I never hated him. I like players who produce consistently. Yeah, well, you always have someone into that you're going to look at. I don't know. Michigan's won 1 championship in their long history. So even on that team, the 89 team, when you look at the bench, there are players, not everybody comes in there and produces consistently. There are guys that show up here and there. So I don't know, absolving him from the season performance. In 2025, Roddy played good. And then Roddy played below average in 2026. Roddy Gayle tonight played above average in the first game without Kaysen. So I don't know. If I'm a Michigan fan, I take a step back and say that was a great performance by Gayle, coming up with 2 huge plays post Kaysen, and Michigan goes undefeated on the road and now heads into Sunday, getting ready for everything that's on tap. I don't know. Maybe tonight's tonight to talk about you're not absolving Roddy Gayle from his season performance. How do you stop it? Well, Iowa almost stopped it. Yeah, you lose ball games. Duke's lost 2 ball games this year. Do we, on the Duke post game, and they're over here lamenting about, Kamini, boy, he probably it's happening. I didn't hear the halftime announcer, so I'll have to go with it. BK agrees with you. Why so much traveling in this game? I don't know. Hopefully Yaks is good. Did we see him limping off? I didn't see that. Halftime guys were brutal. You guys didn't like. You had never heard of Sturtz's name before tonight. Well, you don't pay attention. I mean, he's been one of these. You don't pay attention. That's it. 343 want to clean up the turnovers. Yeah, well, I think they've cleaned them up a little bit. Truthfully, they're the first. I don't want to see first 4 or 5 games. It seemed like last year. Last year, I said it just like everyone else. Oh, this is going to cost them. Seems like it's going to cost them. It's going to cost them. Ultimately, the turnovers didn't cost them. But they were kind of right back in that same boat to start the year. It's like, they're turning it over too much. Then they didn't. And they had a 10-game run where they looked like the best team in the history of the game. One of the best teams in the history of the game. You know, the late 60 and early 70 UCLA Bruins were looking at them and saying, wow, this team's great. Duke's great teams. And then they had a few games that, I know overall their turnovers, and I said why they're going to be up a little bit, but if you're going to focus on the turnovers and you're going to be upset if they have more than 14, then you're just going to be upset with this team. If you're going to be upset with, I know you're going to be upset at the refs. I know you're going to be upset with the announcers, and now you're going to be upset with Michigan turning it over, and then, a few different players that maybe don't make shots as they win. So Michigan will maybe win the championship, cut down the nets, and be like, well, that doesn't absolve everyone from subpar play for a team that is winning it all. So I don't know. There's one on the refs. Hard to play when you're continually being fouled. Yeah, I thought if the whistle went one way or the other, I thought that Michigan got a good whistle tonight. So look at the fouls that were being called in this one. There were a lot more called on Iowa. And I think it should be that way. Michigan's got a better team. They've got bigger players. They're attacking the basket. When you're aggressive, you draw fouls. But, go to a Homer podcast if you want to, somebody going to be in there. Oh, yeah, the refs, they sucked. They sucked tonight. I don't know. I don't know about Yaks. I didn't see the Yaks. He made the last time I saw Yaks, he was up at the free throw line and he made 2 free throws. He looked pretty good. That's what I saw. Derek is giving Gayle credit tonight. Yeah, you should give him. I think it happened. There it is. Gayle, the king of the day. BK says Yaks look tired. They will have a nice several days off after the MSU game. They definitely need rest. I don't think they need rest. I mean, Yaks played 36 minutes. He looked tired. He scored all of his points in the second half. He dropped 3 out of 4 free throws with under 20 seconds to play. He looked great. You know what? You say that Yaks is fine. I bet BK he is on TikTok live right now dancing over there dancing. Maybe you should get on there and say, Yaks, you should sit down and rest up for Sunday because you look tired. I don't know what's going on here. I don't know. We got people arguing. Yeah, look, I'm arguing, so usually I say don't argue on the chat, but if I'm arguing with you, I'm not doing a good job. Yeah, I don't know about the turnovers. There you go. You gotta. This is very timely. KM, not Ripstar, throwing that one in there. Yes, the storm the court alert was a false alarm. That was Iowa was playing that up. That look out, they're going to be storming the court, and it didn't happen. So we'll see. Yaks is the Big Ten Player of the Year. I don't think there's any doubt about that. Maybe Maybe he's too tired, though, to play Sunday. I don't know. Burnett is ready to become a financial advisor and hang it up. I think Burnett is a streaky shooter, and I will bet you under par 68 that Burnett has a game that saves Michigan's bacon. It could be Sunday, it could be in Chicago, it could be in the NCAA tournament, and then you'll have to come in here and say, you know what, you said that Burnett would have a big game, and Dusty stayed with him, and I was ready to send him in his last season before the tournament. You were ready to cast him off. Yeah, look, Namari, I mean, he couldn't play anymore, and he would just, what, Namari's in a good spot, whatever he's doing. I've seen, speaking of TikTok, I've seen Namari, he coordinates a very nice TikTok page with, I think it's his girlfriend. And he looks like he's doing really good. I mean, he's a good dancer. And, she looks like a pretty good dancer, too. Pretty nice. Yeah, I don't think Yax is going to be player of the year. I thought that was decided when Boozer went head to head. So there it is. Derek talking sense. Tough to win weeknight road games in the Big Ten. That's right. Cadeau played well. Haven't seen too much. What? Jay Smith saying that I would literally fouled every trip down the court. Yeah, I didn't see that the same way you did, If you thought it was Homer cooking when 23, when Settles was like, I didn't really see a foul there. I didn't really see a foul either. But, when the guy blows the whistle, I think you know what? I'm going to give everybody a little bit of advice here. When I watched football back in the day, and when they don't show every replay over and over again, they show it once and then they just move on. You know what happens? People don't really complain about it too much. But when you watch a game and I don't know, Jay, maybe you're a big basketball fan. Maybe you're just a big Michigan fan. But there's way too many people that watch the games and they get consumed with the officials. You're going to get a half dozen, maybe even a dozen calls that go against you. And it happens every single game. You hope that it all evens out. And in the end, it probably does. Don't get too worked up about it. I mean, Tom Izzo gets, he acts like a maniac screaming and yelling over there. Why everything, but everybody acts like Tom Izzo. You guys are a bunch of Tom Izzos. Every call you think is going to go your way. All the announcers are out to get you. I mean, it's enough of that. Let's see. Why can't Gayle dunk? Is he going for the record finger rolls? Gayle can dunk. I would say, let's see who's the best dunker on the team. Let's say Yax. I like him. MJJ dunk. The way Mara dunks is pretty good too. So, but after that, Gayle can throw it down. What in the heck was that? That was a great win, Mar. Great win by Michigan to have a one-possession game like that in March on the road on a senior night. That shows you that you've got a championship team, and this was better than a 10, 20-point win when you have this now to look back on and what you are going to face coming up on Sunday, which is going to be a very physical game, what you're going to see in Chicago with everybody letting it all hang out. And it's a very good preparation for the NCAA tournament. That's what that was tonight. That was awesome. That's it. We're there. Yeah, I think this is looking way too much into it. Talking about, the Kaysen injury. I think as fan base, it's going to move on from that. I didn't think that you can use that in any single game. It probably would have been the exact same situation tonight. So there you go. What's going on? with it. So I don't know. Here's not Ripster. I don't, he's talking about his friend. I don't know who this guy is. Is it somebody that I should know who it is? Is it a football player? Is it somebody that's buying people food or something? Now that you say that he's buying food, maybe I should know who that is. Oh, he's Mars' brother. Oh. Well, if he's your brother, then hook us up. Yeah, this isn't true. Kaysen is the best point guard on the team. His loss is huge. I'll agree with the loss is huge, but he's not the best point guard on the team. He's not even a very good point guard. He's a good guard. He's a below average passer. Facts. But where he excels is that he can go get a basket whenever you need it. There's not a lot of guys that in college basketball that are able to do that. Not a lot of guys, even in the pros. You hand him the ball anywhere on the court, he can take whoever is guarding him and he can take him to the hole. He can put him on his hip and he can score. That is very valuable. He's great at that. But that's not really, that's when it comes to passing, which is, something that is really important for a point guard. He's actually not all that good at that. He's average. I'd call him a below average passer. Turns it over too much. But he's tremendous at taking a guy off the dribble. And, he was their most efficient 3-point shooter in February. And, his game was really taking off. But he's not the best point guard on the team. He's not even a very good point guard. He's an excellent guard. But, whoever's telling it, I don't know if you've come up with this or if somebody else is saying that. Whoever it is, tell them that they're wrong about that. All right. Let's take a few more here. Oh, we have a little slam on Peacock. My Peacock sounds very weird. My feed on Peacock, I run it through. What's that thing called? I forget. But it's buffering and the sound doesn't match up, and sometimes it drops. It only dropped one time tonight. It's terrible. But if I use my phone, it's very good. And I just figured that out before. I'm like, this is I hate this. What TV networks March Madness going to be on? Seems like it's always on the same ones. CBS, True TV, TBS. The True TV is the one that those kind of thing. Dice knows what he's talking about. What's up, Dice? Classic Big Ten sludge started over a quarter century ago when Dick Bennett in Wisconsin were allowed to reach a Final Four with mouth breathers just grabbing everyone. There you go. Da-da-da. I don't know. Chris. Love this team, but you play like that in the Final Four, you're toast. Incorrect. You play like this in the Final Four. This is how these are how games go. Just like against Duke. They didn't play really well against Duke, but that game was good experience for what they saw in Illinois. And now winning a game like this on the road with Iowa throwing everything they possibly could at you and Michigan turning it over, this is going to help them. And you get to the Final Four, finding a way to win when you have a one-possession game with under 4 minutes to go, with under 2 minutes to go, with under a minute to go. Actually, that is how you advance and get to a championship game. So if you're expecting Michigan to blow the doors off of everyone, maybe they will. But I'm guessing that is not going to happen. And I don't think, be positive. Just, I like people telling us how they see it. But I'm just going to say this, man. If you're expecting again every Michigan just to come in and house everyone and win by 20 or 30 points, you're going to be disappointed every single game, every one. And yeah, Kaysen was a big loss, but I got to tell you, all the players on the team, they've moved on. They love LJ, but I think the fans need to do that too. You can't, oh boy, I wish we had LJ in there. Okay, you know what I mean? How long are you going to do that? Every close game, oh, LJ. I mean, I know it's hard because you liked him and he was playing so well, and it's like he's gone. I mean, because he is. I mean, he's gone, and that's tough. Tough to process. I mean, you're a fan, but there it is. Derek, they actually did seem tired. Yeah, I didn't see that. Cut from a different cloth says they're 27-2. Did they look tired when Mara was throwing dunks down and Morez was cramming him down and Yax was going off in the second half? Is that when they looked tired? I don't know. When did they look tired? That Iowa was able to, because they're at home and played helter skelter and trying to pull a big upset, which would have been their biggest. I know the announcer said that, but that sounded like real home cooking for the announcers when they said this would be the biggest win that Iowa had. Oh, they were hating on Michigan then. I mean, I don't know. They're going undefeated on the road. You must be doing something right. I think they look tired and I don't know. That's a good question. How does this game set them up from MSU? Are they ready? My immediate answer is yes, they are ready. They went to East Lansing and they were ready when a lot of people, and I think this was understandable, thought that they were going to lose that game. They had been playing with a little bit of fire. They had won the previous games, but they were doing the flip the switch, not playing really well for 75% of the game, and then this last 8 minutes flipping the switch and then finding a way to win. And you didn't think that was going to cut it in East Lansing, and then they went up there and smacked the Spartans upside their head. They know that MSU is very physical. I think they'll miss LJ against Michigan State. No, that it would be nice to have LJ against. I'm not going, but I think that Michigan's home and a chance to sweep MSU and send Tom Izzo and all of his Spartan cronies on the long bus ride back up to East Lansing would be huge. It's a top 10 battle. What Michigan State? They're ranked number 8. Michigan's ranked number 3. Michigan State's thinking, hey, we can win this game and win the Big Ten tournament. They're thinking about, I don't know, was that's sitting there as a 2 seed? They're thinking they could be a 2 seed. Maybe knock Michigan off, but that'd give them. Michigan better be ready to match their physicality and intensity, because if they take any plays off or are thinking, oh, yay, after the game, we're gonna cut some nets down and it's not gonna be that fun. They celebrate the seniors and stuff. I think they're doing it not at halftime or before the game, after the game. They'll probably, and this is my guess, that they did not cut down any nets, but they'll have everybody down there, and afterward, it's not going to be any fun. Nobody cares. It's great. They won the Big Ten and everything, but they lose to Michigan State. Nobody's going to be in a real party mood. So do it. Nope, no credit for Iowa, Big Meek. Let's go. No credit for the other team. Chris is coming after me. Take a drink. All right, let's do it. A drink. Cavassier. Let's do it. I don't even know what Cavassier is. Tea. I've switched up my my tea preference. Sorry, I've gone from, I liked a Lady Grey. Was my favorite, and now I'm on the black tea. That's around. Thank you, Chris. I'm back in there. Got a few coming down the stretch here. Oh, I went all the way to the cognac. Ran out of whiskey. Okay, let's get to a couple other things here. And the couple other things is, let's see. Michigan's 28-2 overall, 18-1 in the Big Ten. The Maize and Blue Review Player of the Game, Ade Mara. All right, we've got some stuff here. You've got Michigan ranked number 3. They came into today. This is only going to get better heading into Sunday. Ken Pom, number 2. Offensive efficiency, top 5. Defense, second best in the country. I know, nothing wrong there. Nothing wrong with pointing some things out that you don't like, but obviously these things are all spectacular. These numbers speak for themselves. So does the net evaluation tool, which is what the committee uses to seed teams. And Michigan sitting here at number 2 behind Duke, between Duke and Arizona. Everybody thinks the top 3 teams are Duke, Michigan, and Arizona. You see a lot of people giving Florida love. Look, they're the 4th team in the net. So we've just seen Illinois, dangerous team. Maybe see them on Sunday in Chicago. If you're Michigan, Chicago, home cooking there for the Fighting Illini. But yeah, Michigan positioned well as they head into the final game of the regular season. And let's check that upcoming schedule. And it's brought to you by the Maize and Blue Review. Hey, we got a flash sale I'm going to tell you about. You can give that U of M fan in your life the gift of the Maize and Blue. You've got spring football practice right around the corner. Recruiting is heating up. I'm noticing that as every day over on the site, there's just constant information on recruiting. And if you like recruiting, it's there for you. And right now, the flash sale all the way through Sunday, you get half off the Maize and Blue Review. Take advantage of that. Go to on3.com if you're ever thinking about it, saying, I want to take my Michigan fandom to the next level. Well, this is the time to do it. Let's see it and let's do it. All right, here's the schedule. I'll be able to put a dub next to Iowa. It's Michigan State, Sunday at 5:30. I have 5:30 down here. I am now looking and it says 4:30. So adjust your schedule accordingly. I've got some news about that game. I am going to be at that game. And so with seeing how it all plays out afterwards, maybe I can do the show right there from the Chrysler Center. Maybe tape something up. Maybe I come back. I like hearing from the people. I've got no problem criticizing anyone, BK. If I hear someone that I don't like or something that they say or the officials, I just don't let it consume me. I'm just a little bit different than that. I think it's just all, I think this is what most people do. They complain about the announcers and they complain about the officials. Those are not the things that I like about basketball to complain about or anything else. I love the flow of the game. I like the competition. I like a million other things besides, griping about announcers. Here's the thing, to tell you the truth, Chris, that every fan base that watches the announcers, they all say the same thing that you're saying. Oh, they hate us. So when you hear that, are you thinking, well, is it just us? Or is this just a fan lament? And that's what it is. But you're a fan. I mean, that's what you do. And I know most people that you see on shows like this, they're just fans. And while I am a fan, I have spent, I don't want to make it sound like it's totally serious, but I have spent my career trying to, I'm a fan, but I'm going to try to be objective about what's going on. And if I hear somebody say something that I don't like, or if I see something that needs to be addressed, I am going to talk about it. But if you spend your life always thinking that you're getting the short end of the whistle, it's I see it all the time. I watched it's the Lions this year with my friends, and you sit there and everybody's just freaking out every single call. And you get it. I mean, that's part of the fun, I guess. Let's just complain about the refs. Oh, and but my friends really think that the Lions, everybody's on the take. It's all scripted. This was WWE, maybe the same thing. There we are. That's not where I get my enjoyment from, but you get your enjoyment from it. That's it. If I hear an announcer I don't like, I'll tell you. I thought Settles and whoever that dude was doing the play-by-play, I thought they did an okay job. I thought they were fine. Keyboard warrior. What's up, Chris? What? Yeah. Refs are a huge part of the game, but again, guess what? Next game, you're going to be crying about the officials too. You're going to be crying about them on Sunday. So if I know you're going to be crying about them on Sunday, so what's the cry? Are you going to cry about the announcers too, Chris? You'll be crying about the announcers and you'll be crying about the officials. I will be watching the game and appreciating the competition, and I'll be taking my notes, and I'll be looking at the statistics, and I will try to present it all out there for all of you. You were doing this show, Chris would come on and say, "Oh, the announcers are on the take, and the refs sucked again. Welcome in. This is Chris on the show." But that's it. I would like to see Michigan sweep MSU. That would be nice. And you know what? The Borg is here, and it does need something in there. Let's do it. Collinsworth. There we go. I'm not worried about anybody coming for me. It's all just a good time. I like Chris, and I don't know why anybody, it's fine. Ooh, Brandon Michigan was looking ahead to state, and that's why we beat Iowa so close. That's a nice theory. Ooh. Arizona would put belt to ass on Michigan. Well, hopefully we'll be able to see that. Chompy. Oh, is that a Wildcat? Arizona's impressive. I watched them last week. They're just running like dunk line. Everything of dunk. But yeah, let's go. Let's see the Wildcats. Yeah, get my names tatted on his face. Do you do the true Borg mix? I don't know. I mean, I know very little about Borgs. My daughter was saying that they put it's mostly alcohol, and then you just put a little Kool-Aid or something in there. I'm not. I'm not. That's not anything that I'll be drinking in there. But if it is, can you put a beer Borg? I mean, is there such a thing? If there is, that's what it might be. That's it. Let's go. We got those Arizona fans. Go. Oh, here we go. It would be a great matchup. So many compelling individual matchups. Yeah. I like your Russian who grew up in Germany. He's pretty good. Burries is pretty good. I watched when I was I bring this up. I try to bring it up every show. I watched the under 19 USA team in Switzerland and all of the players on there. And the Bonsa was the number one player. And, you could see it. Like, wow, this guy looks like Anthony Edwards. He's a pretty awesome player. Sometimes he looks like Kobe. And then the second best player on that team, Morez Johnson Jr. at his coming out party. He was awesome. He didn't start the first game, but he played well enough where he started all the games after that. And he looked great. Looked like he does now. But the second best player on that under 19 USA team, to Dabonsa was Pete. Is that the Arizona player? That guy's awesome. Reminds me of Tobias Harris a little bit, although he seems like he might even be better than Tobias Harris. So Pete versus Yaxel. Yeah, that'd be nice. Burry, I'll give Yax the advantage there, but then Burry's, man, is that his name? Burry's? I like him. He's a hell of a player. Hell of a guard. And I like the Russian. He's pretty good too. This would be a year I'd love to see all 4 1 seeds. I mean, I don't care about Florida as much, but I mean, Duke, Arizona, and Michigan. But, look, having somebody go by the wayside can help you out sometimes when you get there. And, the part of it you love a great – Bradley's good too. Yeah, that's true. He's nice. What was I going to say? Oh, I think you hope for, a nice path. And then along the path, you hope for upsets. But there's a part of it, bring it on, man. Play the toughest road if you're able to do it. You're able to get that. So there you go. We need UConn to win out so we avoid the same region. You don't want to play UConn. All right. Okay, well, that's going to do it here. We'll be back. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll sleep on this one and see. Maybe I'll get up and say, I'm going to have to apologize. The refs, the LJ, and the announcers, that was it. See how it is. This is true. I'm with you on that. That's Ripstar. Michigan wins at 71-68. Thanks for watching. Thanks for participating. And we'll talk with you on the Good Afternoon Michigan football and basketball show tomorrow at 2. Till then.